welcome. From the world's greatest woman athlete, Serena Williams, to one of the world's most successful entertainers, Lady Gaga, to new mothers like Kareena Kapoor. We've all been victim of it and perhaps even guilty of doing it. I'm talking about making and thinking critical comments about one's body shape, one's look or color. But has it gone too far? According to an independent study done by Dove in the year 2000, an alarming 9 out of 10 single women in India feel that they are judged and rejected based on their looks during the marriage process. Furthermore, 68% also believe that these rejections affect their self-esteem and confidence. Tonight on NDTV, let's break this cycle. Come, join us. Let's celebrate beauty in all shapes, colors and sizes.
नमस्कार। वाकई चौंकाने वाली जानकारी है कि 10 में से 9 लड़कियों का कहना है कि शादी के लिए पहले उन्हें इस पर परखा जाता है कि वो कैसी दिखती है। लंबी, पतली, रंग रूप को तराजू पर तोल दिया जाता है। डव द्वारा सर्वे में 68% का कहना है कि परखने के इन पैमानों से उनके मनोबल पर गहरा असर पड़ता है। क्या सिर्फ रूप के नाम पर एक काबिल साथी को नजरअंदाज किया जाता है? आज का कार्यक्रम एक कोशिश है कि सौंदर्य को एक परिभाषा तक सीमित ना रखें। स्टॉप द ब्यूटी टेस्ट खास मुहिम है डव की और हम सब को मिलकर अपने समाज में ये परिवर्तन लाना है। और इसी मुहिम में 2024 तक देश में 60.5 लाख युवाओं को सेल्फ एस्टीम प्रोजेक्ट से जोड़ नई सोच का संचार करने के प्रयास किए जाएंगे।
Nidhi and Sarah, you really both articulated the essence of this program and this campaign so well. All I can add to what you just said is that I really feel this is one of the most important telethons that we have ever done at NDTV. The issue of body shaming, the brainwashing of our males in our society to look for certain attributes during matchmaking, the stereotyping of women and the cruel pressures on them to have to conform to some odd preconceived so-called standards. All this is really a hidden crisis in India. In fact, not so hidden. It does lead to unbearable tension, anxiety and depression, and even worse for young girls and women. I just want to say actually right up in front that I really admire Hindustan Unilever Limited, HUL, for taking up this issue and fighting for change, because I feel sure this will inspire many others to take up this cause and lead to a real change in our society so badly needed, a crucially important change for women in India. Thank you HUL.
Thank you.
देश की करोड़ों लड़कियों की कहानी है।
मैं है किस रेडी।
चलो भी चलो, जल्दी करो। है कि दीदी साड़ी पहनाने की बात हुई थी ना, फिर वजन दिखाई दे रहा है।
अब इसमें भी दिखाई दे रहा है।
हुन तुसी जल्दी करो, लड़के वाले आ गए ने।
इससे ढक लो बेटा, जल्दी आ जा। मैं आ जाओ बेटा।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आजा नूर, आजा। फोटो में तो रंग साफ लग रहा था ना? बेटा आप दोनों चाहो तो बाहर चाय पी लो। जानूर।
सीढ़ी लगाकर बात करना पड़ेगा आपकी राजेश्वरी को हमारे लड़के से।
जोक से पार्ट अपने बाल स्ट्रेट करा लेना, भाई को नूडल्स नहीं पसंद।
ये दाग
कब तक चलेगी खूबसूरती की ये बदसूरत परख? आखिर कितनी खूबसूरती काफी है? डव, खामियां नहीं खूबियां देखिए।
When that's all we see around us in glossy magazines, on the big screen, well, you stop reinforcing this by reflecting real women. What you saw there was the Dove Stop the Beauty Test film. And we're now joined by Deeksha Singh, assistant editor in the news company, who featured in that film, and Noor Zahira, a freelance journalist who also featured in the Dove Stop the Beauty Test film. Thank you so much, Deeksha. To you first. We've seen the ad film. In that, we've seen what you had to go through. But tell us in your words about that experience and why you chose to share it with the world.
First of all, hi. Actually, to be very honest, this has been something that disturbed me since very long. It's been the journey of 25 years almost, and this is something that pokes me from inside, and I cannot even, vocalize about it. So through this campaign, I at least got a chance to vocalize my insecurities and to present it in front of the world, because just not me. Every second or third girl in this world is going through the same thing. They have been judged by many people. So yeah, that's the reason that I opted for the campaign, and I was so happy that thank God there is something that I can relate with, and there are going to be ways now people will understand what and how my journey has been. Why is it so disturbing for me, and how it is so difficult to accept ourselves as we are.
बिल्कुल दीक्षा, हमारे साथ नूर भी हैं। नूर, आपको भी हमने इस देखा है इस एडवर्टाइजिंग फिल्म में जो ये है। आप जब इस मुहिम से जुड़ी, कैसा आपका अनुभव रहा, और जब से आप इसमें आप दिखी हैं, आपके आसपास के जो लोग हैं, क्या उनकी सोच में कुछ बदलाव आया है?
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर हैविंग मी। तो बहुत सारी चेंजेस देखे मैंने बिफोर ज्वाइनिंग द कैंपेन। ऐसा होता था जब भी प्रपोजल्स आते थे, क्वालिफिकेशन मैटर नहीं करता था, ऑक्यूपेशन, प्रोफेशन कुछ मैटर नहीं करता था। एट द एंड ऑफ द डे बात सिर्फ कलर पे आके रुक जाती थी। तो जब ये एडवर्टाइजमेंट हुआ, जिन लोगों ने मुझे बात नहीं की थी, कॉलेज में बुली किया था कलर की वजह से, उन लोगों ने टेक्स्ट किया, बोले कि सॉरी यू हैड टू गो थ्रू दिस, सॉरी यू हैड टू गो थ्रू दैट। एंड इवन इफ इट वाज लेट दैट दे रियलाइज्ड कि ऐसा हुआ, एक अच्छा लगा कि someone has actually understood what it is to be on this side.
जी,
it's really tough to hear all this. In fact, Deeksha, if I can just go back to you, what a struggle, what a fight you have fought. Can you describe that to us, and that what does life hold for Deeksha Singh now that you've done this fight? What you're looking ahead at?
So before I explain the current state, I would like to share a few incidents with you all. When I was 5 years old, the very first moment that struck in my mind that I am, I guess, a little different from the normal people, and people are not really ready to accept me, was an incident. मेरे dad बैठे हुए थे, and one of our family friend was there, and she saw me for the very first time at that particular day, and उन्होंने बोला कि इसके दाग है, इसकी शादी नहीं हो पाएगी, तो आप इसके दाग की सर्जरी करा दो, I know a good doctor. And then I was like, उससे पहले मुझे नहीं पता था कि शायद इससे कुछ फर्क पड़ता है या कुछ ऐसा है, बट उस दिन मुझे लगा कि यार दिस इज समथिंग दैट पीपल आर नॉट रियली रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट। कुछ तो भी अलग है मुझ में, एंड ये चीज शायद मेरे लिए ठीक नहीं है। वो 5 साल की बच्ची में वो चीज आ चुकी थी। तो उस दिन के बाद फिर चीजें मैं ऑब्जर्व करने लग गई खुद ही, बिकॉज यू नो क्या होता है कि एक बार अगर कोई चीज आपके दिमाग में आ गया एंड देन यू कीप ऑन थिंकिंग अबाउट इट। उसके बाद स्कूल में जब मैं जाती थी तो लोगों को बाकी बच्चों को आके सीनियर्स खिला रहे हैं, बातें कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, बट मुझसे आई वॉज नॉट द पार्ट ऑफ द अटेंशन थिंग. आई मीन वो अट्रैक्शन मुझे किसी को होता नहीं था. आई वॉज नॉट द वन हु गेट नोटिस्ड इजली. हाँ, फॉर द गुड, बट आई गॉट नोटिस फॉर समथिंग कि यार ये थोड़ी अजीब है टाइप. तो इस चीज पे मुझे बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस फेस करने लगी थी मैं. मतलब मुझे कहीं ना कहीं लगने लगा था. एंड देन आई खुद से आई स्टार्टेड फाइंडिंग वेज कि यार मैं इसको कैसे हटा सकती हूँ. मे बी आई डोंट नीड अ डॉक्टर, तो हो सकता है मैं इसे खुद ही हटा सकूँ. मम्मी से बहाने से बातें पूछना कि यार मम्मा बर्थ मार्क्स हटते नहीं है क्या, या मैं पील ऑफ मास्क मैंने लगा लिया था एक बार जस्ट टू रिमूव दिस. बिकॉज मुझे वो चीज लोगों ने बोल बोल के दिमाग में इतनी डाल दी थी कि मुझे लगता था यार मैं शायद बहुत अलग हूँ. एंड आई वोंट बी एबल टू गेट मैरिड. लड़के मुझे पसंद नहीं करेंगे, मैं अच्छी नहीं दिखती. ये सारी चीजें दिमाग में आ गई थी. बट आफ्टर द कैंपेन थिंग्स हैव बीन वेरी डिफरेंट फॉर मी. हाँ, एज नूर सेड के जिन लोगों ने हमें कभी बोला था या जिन लोगों ने हमें ये फील कराया था दैट यस वी आर डिफरेंट इन अ बैड वे, वो खुद आके बात करने लग गए. एंड दे वर लाइक वी आर सो सॉरी, आप बहुत ब्यूटीफुल हो, ये वो. सो वी स्टिल डोंट नीड योर कमेंट्स बाय द वे गाइस. हमें पता है तुम कैंपिंग की वजह से बोल रहे हो, बट बी जेनरस विद एवरीवन. आई मीन दिस इज अ बैड थिंग यार, किसी को भी कुछ भी नहीं बोलना है.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Noor, if I can just ask you that based on your own experience, like what would you like to say other girls who are going through a similar process that you went through, or could potentially be in a situation that you were in, or could face the same kind of attitudes that you faced and you fought against? What would you say to them?
The very first thing, dear girls, you don't have to wait for a guy, please. You don't have to wait for their family to accept you. So just accept yourself first, and उसके बाद just rock the world. That's the very basic little thing that you have to follow your entire life, and you're going to rock it.
To add on to what Deeksha said, when you're growing up, usually as children, as little kids, a lot of women seem to compliment. In fact, जब मैं बचपन में थी, बहुत लोग बोलते थे कि थोड़ी सांवली है, कलर अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. Go for brighter colors. Go for colors like yellow or light, cream or something like that, जहाँ उसका color और निखर सकता है, and she might look a little fairer. As a child, I never understood. I just thought maybe those colors don't look good. But जैसे मैं बढ़ती गई 6th या 7th grade में जब I was very active in sports. तो जब sports के लिए मैं boxing किया, school athletics में participate करती थी, सारे relatives या फैमिली फ्रेंड्स की धूप में मत भेजा करो, पहले ही सांवली है, काली हो जाएगी. अभी सांवले में लड़कियों को रिश्ते नहीं आते, काली हो गई तो और डिफिकल्टी हो जाएगा. बट फैशन था तो मम्मी भेज. लेकिन 8th ग्रेड में जब मैं पहुंची, अ लॉट ऑफ देम स्टार्टेड गिविंग रेमेडीज कि टमेटो स्क्रब लगाओ या बेसन का लेप लगाओ या मुल्तानी मिट्टी लगाओ, शायद कलर और खिलेगा एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. एंड as a mother, my mother was very concerned. So she would ask me to apply all of those masks and powders and all those home remedies. And chalta raha wo silsila till 11th and 12th, when I realized कि I don't have to do it. I am whatever I am. And no matter what I'm going to do, it's not going to change. So to the girls who might be doing this, I have a small message. You are in your own skin and you have to own it. There is nothing in this world that could stop you, and please do not listen to anybody's remedies. It is you who is going to live in that skin at the end of the day. You should be able to own it and rock your world.
Well said, Deeksha and Noor. Thank you so much for sharing your stories, and more importantly for holding up a mirror to ourselves. We really thank you for being so candid with your stories. Thanks again. Well, joining us now, I want to go across to Sanjeev Mehta, Chairman and Managing Director of Hindustan Unilever Limited and the President of Unilever South Asia. Sanjeev Mehta, you can see the change, the impact the campaign has had on lives just by hearing Noor and Deeksha's story. This is so commendable. What is the Dove Stop the Beauty Test campaign? How exactly did it come about? We see its impact today, but how did it start?
Hi, good evening everyone, and my greetings to all the NDTV viewers. First, I would like to thank NDTV for joining us on this campaign, and I would say in many ways on this crusade. And, I would certainly like to congratulate Diksha Singh and Noor, what brave women they are. And these are the women who are trendsetters, who are pioneers, and they will help in changing the society. Now, coming to Stop the Beauty Test campaign, Dove has always been on the platform of real beauty, and we had conducted a study in partnership with Hansa Research, and it clearly bore out that 9 out of 10 women in India feel that they are judged and rejected based on their looks during the marriage process. Now, this is very unfortunate because beauty should be a source of confidence, and it should not push women into depression, or it should not become a source of anxiety. Now, our campaign intends to question this unfair beauty test that women are subjected to. Now, Dove, as you know, across the world has been on this platform of real beauty, but this is the first time we have done the research and got deep insights, and we are bringing it to the fore, and which is so relevant to our country's context. Now, Dove wants to inspire women. Each woman is distinctive. Each human being is distinctive. We would want them to lead the life and be happy about who they are, what they do, and this should go together with women's empowerment. And this is about real beauty, and we have to get away from the stereotypical definition of what constitutes beauty. I live in a household surrounded by 3 women, my wonderful wife Mona, and we have twin daughters Naina and Roshni. And our endeavor has been to bring them up in a manner that they are confident of who they are, what they do, what they pursue, and that's the journey we are on. So I'm very passionate about this subject, be it women's empowerment or be about stopping this beauty test which is so unfair to women.
Really, Sanjeev Mehta, this is just such an excellent campaign. I really take my hat off. It is really wonderful and extremely moving to hear real life stories. What was the thought behind featuring and sharing stories of real women? Because I'm really certainly moved already by listening to 2 of them.
Oh, absolutely. And the stories are so powerful of Diksha and Noor. And first, Dr. Roy, thank you for being on this program. I'm so delighted to see you.
No, it's a pleasure. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Now, Dove as a brand has always been talking about championing real beauty. And as a company, we are on a journey of being on a positive beauty journey, of inclusive beauty. And Dove portrays women as they are. We never Photoshop. We never do digital distortion. And we feature women as they are. Now, in India, now understanding that this is a real big issue, so Dove has taken upon itself to bring about the change. And I believe together with organizations like NDTV, together with the brave girls like Diksha and Noor, we can begin this journey. We can do the change and make India a far more inclusive society. Now, we are also working with some fabulous partners like Shaadi.com, Times Matrimonial, and also magazines like Femina and Grazia to what I would call as broaden or widen the definition of beauty, which is so stereotypical and narrow today. And we want young women to be confident, to take up the challenges, to be part of India's growth journey, and not be pulled back by stereotypical images, stereotypical definitions. And we would not like the self-esteem to be in any way be impacted. And you would be aware, I would hope, that Dove has also been working on a self-esteem project with UNICEF. And we intend to impact millions of women positively through this campaign as well.
And you will, if I can put my economist hat on for a minute, all economic studies show that if you invest in women in India, our growth rate will be much higher than any other investment.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, there was also a study done in the US that just think of it, in a country like US, their GDP would go up by a certain percent points if they were to give fair representation to women. If that could happen in US, you can imagine the potential in our own country.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sanjeev Mehta, stay with us. We're coming back to you, but we just want to quickly also hear from Anupama Kapoor, clinical psychologist who also authored Dove's beauty test report, and Dr. Maitri Chand, family therapist and clinical assistant professor at the Mercer University School of Medicine in the US. Anupama Kapoor, you've had conversations with young women and you've authored the Dove beauty test report. The numbers are quite startling and they point to just how entrenched these narrow ideas of beauty are. What was your experience of putting together this report like, and were you surprised by what you found out?
Yes, it was heart-wrenching. No doubt about it. The experiences I've had in talking with young women, I mean actually women of all ages for that matter, when it comes to how their looks or their body image or the kind of hair they have or the kind of eyes that they have affects their self-concept and sense of self-worth is tremendous. As we know, India has one of the largest populations, so it's known for the highest number of, highest percentage of depression in the whole world, especially amongst women. Okay, and I must say that a significant contributing factor to that is our sense of self-worth, which is comprised of the way that we look at ourselves physically as well, and especially with regard to the body image. So as I said, yes, the research has been overwhelming, and this is something I've seen across the board. Yeah. Why was I surprised by it? No, not at all. Having had many experiences, being a female myself, and having had experiences which reinforce these beauty stereotypes right from childhood, it was definitely not surprising that the current findings that we did have reinforce, what we've always known in a way.
I don't think any one of us actually would have been surprised. We've all experienced this in some way or the other. Dr. Maitri Chand, comments on physical attributes, how tall, fat, dark a girl is this something that begins at a young age, isn't it? And this isn't something also that's just restricted to the time of marriage. It may peak then, but these stereotypical ideas of beauty is something young women grow up with when they're told, as we heard with Noor and Diksha, when they're young only, when they're told, Shadi nahi ho paegi tumhari.
Yes, indeed. I think this really emerges in childhood. All of us, children included, we are hardwired to really pick up on differences. Now, evolutionary psychologists explain this to say that if, once upon a time, if we were not able to distinguish between a predator and a non-predator, we would get eaten up. So what this translates now in modern day society and living is that we notice differences very quickly. And because we are at the top of the food chain, we also assign meaning to these differences. This is wrong, this is way too different, this is good, this is bad, etc. So it doesn't just remain a difference then. It starts getting into some kind of view that we have on it. Children, after having picked up differences, because a lot of these differences are visible as well, the bullying that happens in children is typically when a child will pick up a certain attribute or a characteristic about another child that they have no control over, like how tall you are or how short you are, how fat or thin you are. how fair you are or how dark you are, etc., etc. So yes, to cut the answer short, yes, this starts very early in our lives.
तो डॉक्टर मैत्री, ये जिम्मेदारी फिर किसकी बनती है? माँ, पिता, परिवार, समाज, किसकी? क्योंकि घरों में जो बातें होती हैं बच्चे उनको ही सुन के तो बड़े होते हैं। इस साइकिल को कैसे तोड़ा जा सकता है?
मैं रिस्पॉन्सिबल तो नहीं कहूंगी, वो बहुत बड़ा शब्द है, पर मैं ये कहूंगी कि हर किसी की जिंदगी में कोई ना कोई एक्सपीरियंस होता है जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के लेंस से देखा जाता है और एक्सपीरियंस किया जाता है। एंड दीज एक्सपीरियंसेस आर वेरी वुंडिंग, दे आर वेरी ट्रॉमेटिक। सो ये जो है इंडिविजुअल, ये ट्रॉमेटिक एक्सपीरियंस लेकर बड़ा होता है, एंड यही लोग हैं जो बड़े होकर फिर अपनी फैमिली बनाते हैं और अपने बच्चों को ये प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहते हैं। And so a lot of what then gets or transpires between a parent and a child or a guardian and a child is out of protection, and so the intentionality is really, really wonderful there. They don't want कि जो उनके experiences हुए हैं उनके बचपन में, पेरेंट्स के बचपन में, ये नहीं चाहते कि उनके बच्चे भी ऐसे सफर करें या उनके बच्चों का भी यही एक्सपीरियंस रहे। तो वो वार्निंग के तौर पर, समझाने की तौर पर काफी चीजें बोली जाती हैं, but without realizing those things also have embedded criticisms in them. And so even though the intentionality there is wonderful, but it lands up perpetuating the issue and the attitude of prejudice. So unfortunately, I still would not say responsible, but I think they contribute to it.
Right, right. If I can come back to you, Nupama Kapoor, congratulations on doing this study. It's just so important. I'm really surprised it wasn't done earlier. And as you say, we all knew about it, but what this study shows is the extreme level of pressure on young girls and women. I just wanted to go one step further and ask you, because you're a medical person and you study this in depth, can this blow to a woman's self-esteem be so damaging that it results in depression and even more serious and chronic mental health issues?
Oh yes, it's a very, very large contributor to depression amongst women, and even at times leads to suicide, for that matter. Right from the time the child is in fact in the womb, a mother is told don't have tea because the color of the child will be dark. If the child is born dark, in fact, the mother is counseled to use various kind of beauty remedies to lighten the color, So and this continues throughout life. And it affects not only our own self-image, but the career choices that we make, the careers or, the kind of life partner we choose, for that matter. And it also leads to very, very serious feelings of loneliness and isolation, because it impacts our ability to develop, our social skills. Because people with poor self-concepts generally retreat or, start isolating themselves because they are not comfortable in general society. They feel inferior to the other people out there. And therefore, what also accompanies this kind of mental, should I say, frame of mind is that, it leads to increasing loneliness and isolation. And in fact, that seems to be the next pandemic that we are expecting in India.
Right. Dr. Maitri Chand, it's clear from what everybody is saying is that this whole campaign, the message that you are giving is not just to young women, it's to parents as well, because they bring a lot of the pressure. So when we're talking about change, let's first talk about the young women. How do we bring about change? And what is that change? Change attitudes about beauty, or changing the way girls respond to these attitudes about beauty and be firm and confident in themselves? What would you focus on is the real fundamental change that's needed right now for young women?
What a lovely question. It's wonderful. I think maybe the change that can be brought about can broadly be brought about on 3 different levels. So the individual level, on our own, ourselves, the familial level, so with the family, within the family, and then an institutional level. So on an individual level, I would really encourage people to be really aware and mindful of what their meaning-making mechanisms are, what their prejudices are. So if you're looking to shift the system, be the change. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Exactly. And sometimes, well, unapologetically so. Be more supportive of women around you. Create communities that are that help women rely on each other, and so they can be stronger together then. Now, on a family level, praise your child. Talk to the children differently. Talk about them positively, especially if you know that the child can hear you. Do not compare your child to anybody else. Focus on the child's uniqueness. On an institutional level, for example, in the educational system, because we know that these prejudices, these attitudes, and also the impact of these attitudes gets instituted very early in our lives. So some of this needs to start very early in our lives as well. So institutions that help bring about self-acceptance, self-love, identifying your talent, identifying your specialness, all of this needs to be talked in a broader sense as well. So you're helping the child develop who they are, and not just the optics of who we are.
बिल्कुल। अब संजीव मेहता हमारे साथ हैं। संजीव जी, मैं आपसे एक ये सवाल पूछना चाह रही थी। हमने डॉक्टर्स को ये सुना है कैसे ये सुंदरता की एक परिभाषा है और इसको किस तरह से हमें बदलना है, और इसका असर महिलाओं पर कितना घातक है। लोनलीनेस, अकेलापन, डिप्रेशन तक ऐसे परिस्थितियों से महिलाएं गुजर सकती हैं। तो जो डव की मुहिम है सकारात्मक सुंदरता की या पॉजिटिव ब्यूटी की, ये क्या है, इसके बारे में बताइए।
जैसे मैंने बताया था कि individual, whether it's a man or a woman, you're able to do your best. You are your confident best when you're comfortable in your skin of who you are, what your tone is, what your skin shade is, and your background. That's when you're able to give your best, right? And when beauty becomes a source of anxiety, then जैसे डॉक्टर कपूर बता रही थी कि this has a serious debilitating impact on women, and we would not like that to happen. And that is the reason why Dove has embarked on this, to make beauty much broader, much more inclusive. और इससे हम चाहते हैं कि women feel confident, and beauty should not become a source of anxiety. That was the reason behind this project, this campaign, this crusade that we have initiated.
Right, Sanjeev Mehta, I just, one thing that's coming out from everything you said and everybody said so far, and it goes against a lot of what we, as a parental or a teacher generation of this society, is we tend to look for faults in people. You know, at school, oh, you're bad at maths, or your art is not good. But we should be looking at what are your strengths. We should be looking at our daughters and saying, this is your strong point. As you were saying, identify what's good about you and not continually try and find faults. That change in attitude from being negative, which gives you power, to being positive and encouraging youngsters to find their true essence of their talent, right?
You're so right, Dr. Roy. Even when you look at corporations and when you have the training programs and the development programs for individuals, we often look at working on weaknesses. Rather than that, we should be looking at playing to an individual's strength. And every human being has so much to offer. They have distinctive traits. They have distinctive skills. And we need to let them play on their strengths. That will be best for the society.
Right. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Find the strengths. Don't focus on the weakness, which we tend to do. Exactly, yeah.
Find the strength. Well, thank you, Dr. Maitri Chand, Dr. Anupama Kapoor and Sanjeev Mehta. Thank you all. I want to go across to Amit Sharma. He's the director of the Stop the Beauty Test film. Amit Sharma, thank you for your time. Your film, For Dove, it captured the public's imagination and it delivered the message without sugarcoating it. How did you think of treating it this way, and what was your experience like in making this film?
The treatment was very clear when I heard the scripts. The treatment has to be very real, you know, because Dove has always used real women, and the brief was very, very clear that, you know, we have to find real women जिनके साथ में ये सब चीज़ें होती हैं, and women who have faced these kind of problems. And as we were doing the casting, we were getting to know new stories about these girls who have faced these things. जब उनके रिश्ते की बात आती है, so उनको क्या क्या face करना पड़ता है, and that was like really, really shocking. So that was a treatment. I decided that, you know, it should be very real. It should be very, very clear to people what they are seeing. People should relate to this. That ये उनके साथ वाले घर में या उनके खुद के घर में भी ऐसा होता है, you know. We heard some amazing reviews of the film, but few people did not believe that, you know, this still happens. I was one of them when I read the script, and I started believing into it when I started hearing the stories of these girls. कि मेरा रंग काला था तो इसलिए मुझसे शादी नहीं करी. People who don't know such things are still happening. It's for them, and people who are doing these things, you know, रिश्ते के समय judging the beauty, उनके लिए थोड़ा सा I don't want to use word थप्पड़ because it's too hard, but yeah, that's what it is.
बिल्कुल. अमित, मैं आपसे यही पूछना चाह रही थी, आपने रिव्यू कहा अभी, तो इसका क्या कुछ असर हुआ है जो आपके आसपास लोग हैं या फीडबैक मिली है? क्या कहना है? कुछ लोग भी अचंभित हुए होंगे, जिस तरह से आपने खुद कहा कि जब आपने स्क्रिप्ट देखा कि आप सकते में थे कि वाकई ऐसा हो रहा है, लेकिन होता है ऐसा. अगर 10 में से 9 लड़कियां कुछ कह रही हैं, जो सर्वे सामने आया है, तो हो रहा है ऐसे. तो जब उन्होंने पाया कि लोग भी जो है, समाज है, इसी समस्या का हिस्सा है, क्या कहा उन्होंने आपसे?
आखिर कितनी खूबसूरती काफ़ी है, you know, that was the campaign line. And my job is to make the film and make the film in the most effective way, so that, you know, people think about it. A seed of idea is planted in their brain, and they really think about, you know, what they are actually doing. So change change actually takes a lot of time. I feel this is a start. So it has started, and I got some reactions which were like really amazing, and I think that's the effect of the film, of the communication. But I think we need to do many more communications like this, many more films like these, so that you know, on a larger level, people in this country understand, you know, what they are doing, whether it is right or wrong in their own mindset. So yeah, I got some great reviews, I got some great reactions from the film, and if it has you know, changed someone's life or someone's thought, more than me, nobody will be happy.
या बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जुड़ने के लिए. और आपने एक अहम लाइन कही कि बदलाव शुरू हो गया, बदलाव आना शुरू हो गया. ये बहुत अहम है हमारे समाज के लिए. बहरहाल धन्यवाद अमित. और हमारे साथ अब बेहद खास मेहमान हैं प्रिया मलिक. ये एक लेखिका हैं, कवि हैं, परफॉर्मर हैं. प्रिया मलिक ने जो एक कविता लिखी है, पूरी जो हमने स्टॉप द ब्यूटी टेस्ट है, इसके ऊपर एक कविता लिखी है, उनसे भी बात करेंगे, क्योंकि इस कविता में प्रिया ने किस तरह से जो अनछुए भाव होते हैं एक महिलाओं के, जो कितनी बारी वो कह भी नहीं सकती. हमने दीक्षा को सुना, नूर को सुना, वो उन्होंने अपनी इस कविता में ढाला है. तो आगे बढ़ने से पहले, बात करने से पहले प्रिया से ये कविता सुन लेते हैं.
इस खूबसूरती के बदसूरत टेस्ट का
क्वेश्चन पेपर किसने बनाया है? मेरे रंग रूप को अपने मापदंड पर आखिर किसने बिठाया है? On seeing the Dove film, I realized that we have all gotten so used to the society telling us what's beautiful and what's not. And I've been through it all. Growing up, I always thought I was never tall enough, never slim enough, just never enough. But the good news is, खूबसूरती की इस परख का the end भी वही होता है जहां से शुरुआत होती है। खुद से पूछो ऐसा क्यों है? हमारी खुद से क्या बात होती है? Today I know that loving myself is the most revolutionary love affair I'm ever going to have. And I love all of me, including my big nose, my unruly hair, my unkempt brows, everything. I stand with Dove's Stop the Beauty Test because it ends with you and me.
बहुत सुंदर आपकी कविता थी ये, और कई महिलाओं के जहन में ये शब्द गूंज रहे होंगे, और बहुत सशक्त शब्द थे, इट एंड्स विद यू एंड मी। बहुत एम्पावरिंग वर्ड्स हैं ये। प्रिया, मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगी कि जो हमारा समाज है, जो उसमें हम सब हैं, महिलाएं, पुरुष, हमारे माता पिता, हमारा समाज, किस तरह से हम सब मिलकर इस ब्यूटी टेस्ट को विराम इस पे लगा सकते हैं?
मैं कहना चाह रही थी कि बहुत जरूरी है कि ये शुरुआत एक इंट्रिंसिक तरीके से, यानी कि एक अंदरूनी तरीके से जब ये चेंज होता है हमारा ब्यूटी का स्टैंडर्ड, बिकॉज 7 साल की उम्र में हमारा 90% ऑफ सबकॉन्शियस माइंड डेवलप हो जाता है। तो जब हम देखते हैं अपने सामने कि अगर कोई गोरा बच्चा है तो हमारे माँ बाप कह रहे हैं हाय देखो ये कितना सुंदर है, और ये चीज किसी उस बच्चे के लिए नहीं कही जा रही जो बच्चा गोरा नहीं है, हम वहीं से इसकी शुरुआत कर लेते हैं। आई ग्रो अप इन अ जॉइंट फैमिली, और हम सब 16 कजिन्स थे साथ में, और हम सबका आपस में इतना ज्यादा कंपैरिजन होता था, कौन कितना गोरा है, किसके शरीर पे कितने बाल हैं, कौन सी लड़की के बाल स्ट्रेट है, किसके घुंघराले हैं, बच्चों की हाइट क्या चल रही है, किसकी बेटी लंबी, तो इट ऑल स्टार्ट इन अ वेरी इंटरनल वे सबसे पहले। उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली हमारा जो इमीडिएट समाज, यानी कि हमारा परिवार, हमारे फ्रेंड्स, जिन लोगों से हमारी रोजमर्रा के बेसिस पे बातचीत होती है, और उसके बाद आता है बाहर का समाज। तो सबसे पहले शुरुआत होती है वो परिवार में ही होती है, एंड आई थिंक वहीं पे एक पूर्ण विराम लगना चाहिए, फॉर द लैक ऑफ अ बेटर फ्रेज, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स एक्सट्रीमली इम्पोर्टेंट। हम इतने कॉलोनाइज्ड हैं आई थिंक एज अ नेशन भी व्हेन इट कम्स टू आइडियाज ऑफ ब्यूटी, हमें यूरोसेंट्रिक ब्यूटी की इतनी आदत है, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो हिस्ट्री भी समझना कि ये कहाँ से शुरुआत हुई, कि हाँ लड़की जब गोरी होगी, लंबी होगी, कंजी आंखें होंगी, सीधे बाल होंगे तभी सुंदर कहलाई जाएगी, वो सब चेंज होना बहुत जरूरी है। एंड बिकॉज अभी एक न्यूज चैनल पे बात कर रही हूँ तो ये भी कहूंगी कि मीडिया में रिप्रेजेंटेशन बहुत ही ज्यादा अहम है। आई डोंट नो अभी तक इस बारे में किसी ने बात करी है या नहीं, क्योंकि छोटे छोटे बच्चे भी टीवी देखते हैं, तो उनको भी देखने चाहिए कोई उनके तरह।
Very true, very true. Priya Malik, you really are an amazing voice for so many women, younger and older women, and you have such a huge presence and influence on social media, which is the way to go now. Your poetry kind of expresses what women feel but often can't themselves find the words for. So how do you use that voice, that unheard voice, to tackle these deep-rooted biases that you express and try and solve? It's a huge responsibility on you, isn't it?
Oh, indeed. I think when you are given a voice, you know how they say with great power comes great responsibility. I think every influencer, every celebrity, everyone who has been given that voice needs to remember that responsibility in one way or another. I believe in art with an impact. Right. I believe that even if I'm writing a love piece, it has to have some sort of a social derivative from it. In fact, one of my favorite pieces is called Art Has No Gender, which discusses the idea of genderizing art. You know, how female artists are always asked, what is it like being a female artist? And the response is, well, same as being a male artist, except that they don't get asked that question. So there are so many of these standards of, you know, not just physical beauty. I think the way that otherization, you know, if someone doesn't speak like us, which also I've been through a lot in my life, if someone doesn't look like us, someone doesn't dress like us, we start othering the person. And I think that xenophobia needs to change. We need to, and I love the Dove campaign specifically because it talks about how differences make us beautiful. So I think the day we internalize that, I have been through an entire personal journey in terms of internalizing that as well. I think the day we internalize that, as I said, it starts with you. Hopefully, like water, it will have that trickle-down effect.
Thank you so much, Priya. You've really put into words what we've all been feeling, and the main gist here is that we all have a role to play. And it can end perhaps with you and me as parents, as partners, as colleagues, as mothers-in-law, by creating a more accepting society that challenges an unidimensional, narrow, stereotypical idea of beauty. And Dr. Roy, may I just say here, as I've been listening to all of these authors, and I heard Priya saying it's a learning curve. I realize now as a mother to 2 girls, I've had to make a conscious effort over the past few years to never tell my kids that you're looking so pretty. I never say that. And I stop any elders in my family from saying that. I always say, you're looking so strong, you're looking so fit, you're looking so smart. That's the important thing. And maybe the small changes is what we need. And I'm learning that today. It's just brought that memory up. Thank you all for this, all of our panelists now. I want to bring in Aparna Jain, an author and leadership coach. Aparna, we're talking today about a beauty test that subjects women to very stereotypical ideas of beauty and often finds them lacking. Like, when is it enough? You've written for young adolescents. How important is it to create the right kind of role models for them right from a young age?
Thank you for having me. I don't think there's anything that hasn't been said here so far. I was listening to the panelists before me, and they've said they've covered a pretty wide gamut. But let me tell you that the stage of adolescence is actually when we let girls fall through the gaps, so to speak. There's a lot of attention played to the girl child, education, etc. And then after a girl achieves puberty or goes through the whole puberty cycle, that's when she starts falling through the gaps. If you look at rural India or even semi-urban India, I was reading a report today which talks about how when you achieve puberty or when you start having your period, that's when they want to get you married off, right? So you have all these notions of how can we, she's grown up, there's so much that's going to happen. And the development of the child at that point of time is also, it falls through the gap in terms of how much attention we give as media people, as writers, as authors. So I was very clear when I wrote my book that I was going to, focus on this particular age group of 9 to about 18 and try to write for them. So it's slightly adultish in its theme. We talk about all the role models from Bhavri Devi, who is obviously the most obvious and most revered as far as we go, to the young sportswomen, Deepa Karmakar, etc. Now, it's important to cover a wide gamut of people who you consider role models. I deliberately steered clear of all the corporate leaders because I feel they're already media heavy. So you really have to choose people who girls can identify with. And one of the, a study showed that you can put a really successful woman in a room full of young girls or young women, and they could have no impact on them. But they will have an impact on them if the girl or the woman identifies with any one aspect of them. So whether that aspect is maybe a shared hometown or a small town background or the way somebody looks or the way somebody's had some kind of an upbringing, there has to be some form of connection. So you have to come in and find that connection from somewhere. And I think in everything we do, we have to make sure we are represented completely and wholly and not as the stereotype.
अपना मैं आपसे ये समझना चाहूँगी कि जो हमारे पेरेंट्स होते हैं, माता पिता घर में एक युवा के, वो एक बहुत अहम रोल अदा प्ले करते हैं जब से बच्चे बड़े होते हैं. तो अगर माता पिता को भी समझाना हो या उनको भी एक बदलाव लाने के लिए संदेश देना हो, कैसे हम माँ पिता को बता सकते हैं कि आप भी इस तरह से सोचें? जिस तरह से सेरा ने अपना उदाहरण दिया, बहुत बेहतरीन था कि लड़कियों को मत कहो you're looking very pretty, कहो that you're looking very fit. That seemed so nice. But कैसे माता पिता ये बदलाव ला सकते हैं? क्या कहेंगे आप उन्हें?
आई थिंक हम काफी स्टीरियोटिपिकल फ्रेजेस भी इस्तेमाल करते हैं. माय हिंदी इज नॉट सो गुड, सो आई एम गोइंग टू बर्स्ट इनटू इंग्लिश. तो हम काफी स्टीरियोटिपिकल फ्रेजेस भी इस्तेमाल करते हैं. जैसे सेरा ने कहा कि यू आर सो प्रिटी, यू आर सो ब्यूटिफुल, यू आर सो क्यूट. ये फ्रेजेस जब कोई एक तस्वीर बनाता है तो हम लोग उसकी अगेन द प्रिटीनेस एटसेट्रा इज पॉइंटेड आउट. वी डोंट टॉक अबाउट हाउ दैट पर्सन हैज यूज्ड अ स्पेसिफिक कलर और द फैक्ट दैट देव डन समथिंग स्पेसिफिक. हम फीडबैक जब देते हैं तो काफी सुपरफिशियल है. अगर हमको फीडबैक देना है in a way that children can develop, we have to give it quite specifically. It's like giving feedback to somebody in your office, right? You don't just say, oh, you've done a good job. That's completely impersonal, right? You have to say, hey, you know what? I really appreciated the way you resolved this problem by going up to this person and speaking to them. So you give them specific feedback. Now, when you do that to a child, it makes them say, wow, I did a really good job here, and then that becomes the norm and they move on to the next level. Similarly, if you start just reinforcing their looks or the fact that they're sweet, cute, kind, well-behaved, walking like a lady, talking like a lady, all that, we are just reinforcing every stereotype. So you want to say well-mannered, why aren't you saying that for the boys who are running around all over the place? You have to make sure that your feedback is equal for all genders. And again, I want to make it quite clear that gender is not a binary anymore, and we have to stop saying boys and girls, etc. We have to be much more inclusive in our language, and beauty really covers the spectrum of gender today, and we need to be clear about that too. So it's also in our daily language.
Yes, absolutely. Moving on actually to focus on boys and young boys, and you've written about them, inspiring them to follow their heart and not to just give in to stereotypes like toughen up, boys don't cry, So how did you find young adolescent boys, how do they react when they're told it's okay for them to be themselves, to find their own strengths and to find their own path in life and not to feel the pressure of conforming? And I can just ask you secondly, how do you undo their whole conditioning regarding their expectation of their future partners? Really tough, because their attitude, boys' attitude, matters a lot about themselves and about their future partners.
Yes, there were two loaded questions actually. So the first one is, I feel in today's educational system, there's a huge gap in even how we address boys and girls. I saw a documentary the other day, and it was about a murder in a school, and the young girl who spoke on the show was erudite, sharp, lucid, etc. And then the boys who spoke almost seemed like they belonged to a different generation. And I'm not trying to be stereotypical here. I'm just trying to tell you that the pressure on girls to be really good at school, well spoken, blah blah blah, is huge, right? I think there's a gap right now in how boys are not put under any, not pressure, but they're not expected to do as much. And they're finding it a little difficult to deal with this generation of young girls, at least in urban India. And I would say, again, urban SECA India, where girls are quite exposed to the new woke kind of culture. And woke, again, is in inverted commas because it's not a word we're supposed to use. And boys are quite far behind. So there was this whole workshop we were planning where we wanted to actually go into schools and tell boys how they're expected to be now. And it's a whole mindset change, right? They're like, 1 second, like, why should I do this? And it's a bit like the IC code in the office, where you're supposed to be a certain way and behave a certain way in the office, and you go home and you behave like a terror, or you behave like completely inappropriately. So it's within a prescribed box that you're behaving properly. It's incumbent on parents to really change the mindset of the boys, and I think that's where the work needs to be done. I don't think the work needs to be done on the women. I think it needs to be done on boys, and I hope that can happen soon. And I think that's where people should be making the effort. The other thing is that it's always like mums are responsible for the boys' upbringing, which I find really annoying. you're a parent, you know, you both should be responsible. You know, it takes a village, and it's very annoying saying that, oh, that mom, you know, she's such a bad mom. I mean, where is the parent, like, you know? So that's the other thing. As far as, you know, beauty and marriage, etc., it's so far ahead, but definitely dating standards, like if you're talking about adolescents again, dating, it's very important to look good. I don't know when we're going to reach that stage where people can walk out of the house wearing a t-shirt, jeans, no makeup. I mean, I'm talking extremely urban and you know, that kind of scenario. But if you want to take it rural, let me tell you, I read a 2016 report where when women were getting married, their future families or the families they were getting married into paid for plastic surgery for them to get their jaw sharpened, cheekbones, you know, whatever, redone so that they could look like Madhuri Dixit, for example. So it's prevalent everywhere, right? And if the World Economic Forum has said that we're not going to change in like 90 years as far as the workplace, can you imagine how these basic stereotypical mindsets are going to take? So it's an everyday process. We make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. We should correct ourselves in public when we say something which is incorrect. We should do that.
Absolutely, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा और ये बदलाव लाना है.
More campaigns like this.
Absolutely, और बहुत जरूरी है और बहुत अहम बातें आपने कही हैं किस तरह से ये बदलाव लाना है और बदलाव शुरू हो गया है. एक छोटा सा ब्रेक हम लोग इस खास मुहिम में ले रहे हैं, जल्दी से हाजिर होंगे, बने रहिए इसके साथ. स्टॉप द ब्यूटी टेस्ट इस खास मुहिम के साथ एक बार फिर से हम हाजिर हैं और इस समय हमारे साथ बेहद खास मेहमान हैं. डॉक्टर सिमल सोइन है, फाउंडर एंड चीफ डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट आईना. मैं आपसे डॉक्टर सोइन ये जानना चाहूँगी, एज अ डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट बहुत लड़कियाँ आपके पास आती होंगी कि हमें इस तरीके से दिखना है, आप हमारे अंदर ये बदलाव ले आइए, और उनकी मनस्थिति क्या होती है जब आपके पास वो किसी रिक्वेस्ट के साथ आती हैं, इस तरह से उनको दिखना है?
ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है, बिकॉज जो भी मेरे पास आता है डर्मेटोलॉजी ट्रीटमेंट के लिए कुछ इम्प्रूव करने आता है. किसी को एक्ने होती है, किसी को एक्ने से स्कार्स होते हैं, किसी को पिगमेंटेशन इश्यूज हैं, किसी को मतलब जैसे डार्क मार्क्स होते हैं, किसी को रोजेशिया होता है, कि कोई अपना वेट कम करना चाहता है, किसी को एक्सेसिव हेयर ग्रोथ है. इफ यू हैव हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंसेस टू कीप यू इन अ हेल्थी स्टेट. सो ये सब चीजें जरूरी हैं. सो वी विल ट्रीट ऑल ऑफ द कंसर्न्स व्हिच पीपल कम फॉर व्हेन यंग गर्ल्स और एनीबडी एक्चुअली कम्स टू ट्रीट दीज कंसर्न्स. बट देयर इज अ फाइन लाइन बिटवीन व्हाट यू आर ट्रीटिंग एंड व्हाट यू शुड नॉट ट्रीट. द रेड फ्लैग फॉर मी इज, रेड फ्लैग माने अगर मैं किसी को देखती हूँ, ये जब लोग पिक्चर्स लेके आते हैं ऑफ सेलिब्रिटीज, ऑफ फ्रेंड्स, व्हिच आर डन विद इंस्टाग्राम फिल्टर्स, with airbrush makeup, and you know, of unnatural results. Another interesting trend which I see off and on, not all the time, not in the present generation, well, I see it off and on, is when in-laws and fiancés of young girls who are getting married, you know, get the girls in to improve certain features or complexions that, you know, and expect her to be a certain way before they actually get married. So for me, that is a worrying situation.
But Dr. Soin, how do you strike that balance in your practice? You've talked about the red lines, but you know the reality of you know the society we live in today, because you may say no and they may go to someone else. So do you counsel these young adults, and how do you feel when you know that they may be walking out of your office and walking into somebody else's?
Yes, of course. I mean, we do it all the time. Like I talked about the red flags, कि जब मैं लोगों को देखती हूँ क्या worrying है, अगर लोग बहुत often आते हैं treatments के लिए, if they're coming very often, if they're worried about every little line, wrinkle, spot, every inch of, then that's where you've got to draw the line and try and counsel people about it. But otherwise, like I said before, it's fine to want to look your best self, and that's absolutely okay. But the overall view with which I work also is to treat people in a more holistic manner. You know, not to address every line, wrinkle, spot, acne, but overall they should look better, feel happier. That's the way that I work with people. What I want to say is that in the present generation, I see a lot of younger, let me say working girls, people who are economically independent, cutting across all social classes, that they actually are now living life a lot on their own terms, and that's a very progressive trend. So while the pressure on looking good is still continues to be high with all the social media and everything, if it comes from a place of strength and confidence and doing everything within the confines of reason, as in not wanting to, you want to treat your pigmentation, but not lighten the overall complexion of your skin or fit into a particular mold which you don't want to, then it's fine.
Then it's fine. Dr. Soin, thank you so much for your time. I want to bring in now Arun Srinivas, Director of the Global Business Group of India, India Facebook, and Anushka Kelkar, photographer, and also at Brown Girl Gazing. That's her account on Instagram. And we have Priya Nair, Executive Director of South Asia Beauty and Personal Care at Hindustan Unilever Limited. Anushka, to you first. We're talking about being part of changing attitudes, whether it's parents, doctors, grooms, the in-laws, all of those who are associated with the beauty industry, or then social media. Your initiative, talking about social media, your initiative on Instagram is called Brown Girl Gazing. How is this helping change how women relate to their bodies?
Absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things when it comes to body image, anxieties or insecurities, is that it's such a shameful topic, right? It's not something you can just casually bring up at a dinner. It's not something that usually young people even tell their closest friends. And so really it began to say, you know, what happens if we all just start talking about our deepest fears when it comes to our bodies? And over the last 3 years, I've now worked with 300 plus women as a photography project, where each of them has come up to the table and spoken about not just their skin color, but across the board, right? From choosing to have short hair to, you know, being differently abled, women across the board just coming out talking about what it felt like being in their body. And I think community there has a huge role to play, right? When you realize it's not just me and move beyond, this is my personal problem too, this is a societal problem, and I have the agency to find people who can start talking about it with me. So I think for me, that has been one of the most incredible shifts that I have seen personally, working with young women, especially on this project.
Right. It's really good to hear that, actually. Very, very, very strong. Priya Nair, if I could just ask you, Facebook is such a huge influence on this entire generation. I mean, it's just huge. And we believe that Dove has collaborated with Facebook to fight all these stereotypes that we've been talking about. Tell us exactly what you plan to do with Facebook.
So really excited about our collaboration with Facebook, Dr. Roy. You know, at Dove, we are absolutely committed to inspiring women to be really proud of who they are and to really establish that, you know, beauty is unique. It's not that stereotypical image of beauty. And of course, we know that social media can be a huge amplifier. And therefore, very excited to announce our collaboration with Facebook today. Super excited about it, because you can really take this purposeful message and go to many, many consumers. And we know that consumers today use augmented reality really in an interesting, interactive way. They can actually take this message of Dove, which is hashtag Stop the Beauty Test, to many, many more consumers. You know, therefore, we've collaborated with Facebook and we've brought this filter, and super excited because we actually launched the filter today on the show live. You know, I've taken the filter, so have Sara and Nidhi. It's really exciting. So I would encourage all the viewers, men and women, to really take the filter, use it, promote it, and help us stop this beauty test. So that's what we're doing. At Dove, we believe in zero digital distortion, and that's what our filter is, so that women can really magnify themselves as they are and feel positive with their body confidence.
I pledge with Dove to stop the beauty test.
Hey, so I have freckles, I'm starting to get grey hair, and I can't say no to chocolate. This is me. Love it or leave it, but I'm saying no to beauty tests.
तो कब तक चलेगी खूबसूरती की ये बदसूरत परख? Let's pledge to join the Stop the Beauty Test.
I was just saying, sorry, that I was started by congratulating Dove, but I must really congratulate Facebook as well, because you're talking about digital filters and they're in that sphere of digital media.
Absolutely.
Can I just ask Arun Srinivas, if you can tell us a bit about the use of augmented reality filters. Why especially this route?
See, AR or social media, it's really generating a lot of new opportunities for businesses. AR, as you know, is augmented reality, and it really has massive potential in the coming years to revolutionize video and experiences, on the internet. Over 700 million people have already experienced augmented reality on the internet through these experiences, because I think AR as a technology makes creation very intuitive, easy, and fast. It's a very effective solution for delivering a message impactfully, so that's one. Secondly, it allows creators to pick up trends because it's very easy to distinguish and spot AR in trends, amongst the millions of things that we are bombarded with on the internet every day. Because this matters to creators, because influencers are a very, very key and powerful source now of influencing and sparking conversations, and these have significant business outcomes. And not only do they do the spark conversations, they create a space, I'd say, for communities to really express themselves. And what AR actually, therefore, brings the whole loop together is to really allow people to connect and engage with their communities. So I think AR filters, in some, are not just, or I would say, tools that help in delivering a brand message through storytelling, but they really get the user to assimilate the message and also really immersively engage with it.
Very interesting. Arun, from the brief to the final campaign, what was the process like in collaboration with Unilever?
Good evening. Unilever is a very important and strategic partner to Facebook, not just because of the campaigns that we've done together and that run on our platform, but I think on the impact that they have on consumer lives as well. Even in the current instance, this campaign has a very strong purpose attached to it, which is Stop the Beauty Test. And this is something that we see very often on our platforms, where people really stand up to conventions and challenge stereotypes. We are very happy to partner with Unilever in this instance, and especially for such a purposeful campaign, as it can really have a deeper impact on consumer lives in India.
Anushka Kelkar, you talk about a middle ground between not hating your body but also not being pressurized to love it. That's really interesting. Tell us about that, please.
Absolutely. So I think now, because body image has become sort of a topic for conversation, there's actually a new kind of pressure that's emerging for a lot of young women, where if you can't own your body, if you can't be extremely proud of how you look and who you are, it almost feels embarrassing or like you are doing something wrong. And I think instead reframing it as body neutrality, to say that, hey, my relationship with my body is expanding and will keep expanding, probably through my entire lifetime. Can I find a way of meeting my body where I'm at instead of being compelled or pressurized to love my body? Also, I think including that there is external pressure that society puts on young women. So moving from body hatred to body love in one step is honestly really difficult, which is where body neutrality becomes an incredible way to just begin that healthy relationship with your body.
All right. Thanks. Priya, just please stay with us. We have more to talk to you about. Anushka Kelkar, Arun Srinivasan, thank you for joining us tonight. I want to also introduce Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq, the UNICEF's representative in India. Priya, like I said, I want to come back to you. At this point, we've heard from our guests earlier in the show talk about how family, peer pressure, social media, all of that plays a massive role in reinforcing stereotypes, right? And also about pressure about body image. Can you tell us about what the Dove intervention was in this regard?
For us, it's more than just a communication campaign, like I was saying. We run the Dove Self-Esteem Project. It's the largest project in the world where we educate almost 69 million girls globally since 2004. And this project is the largest provider of body confidence education around the world. And in India, we're partnering with UNICEF. Our mission really is to empower the next generation for having body confidence. And really, it is really difficult when you see statistics like 54% of girls really feel concerned about the way they look. In fact, body dissatisfaction is only increasing, and it's starting very, very young. So, we all have to come together to make a real difference and have a larger societal impact. In 2019, through Women Deliver with UNICEF, we actually announced at the Conference of Women, Health and Girls' Rights a partnership to provide girls self-confidence and confidence education. It is our ambition to reach 6 million girls across 8 states and empower young girls to have positive body confidence.
Yeah, we'll just go back to that answer from Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq of UNICEF, which is a recorded answer to one of our questions in just a second. But first, this Stop the Beauty Test campaign is great, but has a lot of challenges, right? Priya, what else can Dove do to really change such really entrenched, age-old mentalities which are so difficult to change? It need a really long-term effort by you, right?
No, absolutely. It's not one-off. We have to just stay at this. Very, very critical. So all our work with the Dove Self-Esteem Program and our communication aims to reach out to women and help them get and grow in body confidence. Just feel confident in how they look, how they feel about themselves. And beauty can really be an incredible source of self-confidence and self-esteem. And that's really what we're trying to do over all our work. And we'll just stay at it. And that's really what we want to do.
Right. Well done. Yeah. Let's now go back to Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq, who we asked her this question a short while ago and recorded it. We asked her to tell us a little more about UNICEF's India Country Program. What's the concept behind it and what UNICEF is looking to achieve through it. And this is what she said.
So namaste and greetings from UNICEF. I'm Dr. Yasmin Haq and I have the privilege of being the UNICEF representative in India, where we have a very exciting, unique partnership with Dove on self-esteem. And we work together to really reach a group of people who are so important to the present and the future. And that is the adolescents. We work with Dove across the world. And when we look at the numbers in India, a third of the population here in India is aged 10 to 24. And if we are really to realize their potential to the maximum so that they can contribute to nation building, to India becoming even greater, then we need them to be healthy, educated, equipped with knowledge, information, skills, but most importantly with the confidence in themselves that they are able to reach their full potential and help their country and their communities grow. So for us, this partnership that we've been engaged in over the past 3 years to integrate self-esteem into the life skills work that also has been so importantly part of the national education plan for the country, that or the new education policy that was declared in 2020, and how we look at empowering our young people, young girls and young boys is really important. So the self-esteem and body confidence training and education becoming an integral part of what young people, whether they're in school or out of school, can have access to is really important.
डॉक्टर यास्मीन, जो ये सेल्फ एस्टीम का प्रोजेक्ट है, आप हमारे देश में इस संदर्भ में दूसरे देशों के हालात के मुकाबले किस तरह से देखती हैं? और यूनिसेफ ने जो ये प्रोग्राम को क्या किसी और देश में भी ट्राई किया है और आउटकम वहां पर कैसा रहा है?
बहुत धन्यवाद आपने ये पूछा, क्योंकि यूनिसेफ और डव ऐसे प्रोग्राम चला रहे हैं ब्राजील और इंडोनेशिया में। ये देश भारत से बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंट है, लेकिन चैलेंज एक कॉमन है कि हम अपने युवाओं को कैसे एम्पावर कर सके, उनका सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस कैसे बढ़ा सके, वो देश के लिए कैसे कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकेंगे। इसलिए स्पेशली हमारे बेटियों के ऊपर जो सोशल प्रेशर रहते हैं कि वो कैसे, उनका स्किन कलर क्या है या वो देखने में कैसे हैं, उनकी भाषा कैसी है, इन सब को एड्रेस करके हाउ वी कैन हैव द यंग पीपल रियली बीइंग सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंट। And in India, we call it, we have been adapting and co-creating. युवाओं के साथ बातचीत करके, उनका फीडबैक लेकर, उनकी जो दिक्कतें हैं उनको एड्रेस करके हमने 6 कॉमिक बुक तैयार किया है। और उसके साथ हम इशू, हर कॉमिक बुक में इशू क्या है और हम कैसे युवाओं को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। हम means us as teachers, as parents, as community members, it's really important that we take them through that journey. So it's really exciting that in other countries, in Brazil and Indonesia, they are doing it what matters to young people in their context the most. And for us in India, it's really been a journey of co-creation.
And how do you measure the success rate of this campaign, Dr. Haq?
So again, numbers is one part of the success. Globally, we're working with Dove to reach 10 million young people. In India, we're reaching 2/3 of them. So the ambition is really to reach over 6 million young people just in India. We have quite a clear framework of what the numbers are going to be, what we want to reach them with, what the change in knowledge and attitude is likely to be. And we're working very clearly to put in place a system to measure it. But beyond that, it's also how we do it. That are we consulting with young people or not? Are we taking our feedback to them? Do we listen to what they are saying about the material that is being developed? And to make it as participatory as possible. So while we look at the numbers in terms of coverage, how many young people we've reached, how we take it forward, the important part is also, are we seeing any behavior change, either among the community or the teachers who are taking it, most importantly among the young people. So here it's really important that we think, all right, what is it that we want to see? And just think of the image of a generation of young girls and young boys who are exuding self-confidence, who no matter where they come from, what language they speak, how they look, that they beam with the self-esteem. And they are confident that they will address any challenge that faces them. They are ready for the world as it comes on, and they contribute to their fullest potential.
Dr. Haq, thank you. Thank you for your time tonight. I want to bring in Dr. Helena Lewis-Smith, a Senior Research Fellow at the Centre for Appearance Research at the University of the West of England. We also have Dr. Megha Dhillon, an Assistant Professor of Psychology at Lady Shri Ram College. Dr. Helena Lewis-Smith, first to you. The Dove Self-Esteem Project is the largest provider of self-esteem education in the world. It's reached some 69 million globally, 1.7 million in India alone. Could you tell us a little bit about this?
Of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. It's really a privilege. So I have the luck and fortune to work with the Dove Self-Esteem Project. And myself, I am a psychologist. I'm an academic. I'm a researcher, and I'm based at the University of the West of England in the UK. And we were approached by the Dove Self-Esteem Project about 9 years ago, and they said, look, we really want to try and reach as many young people as we can all over the world with body confidence materials, and we would love to work with you. And myself and my colleagues, because we have expertise in developing programs that promote body confidence among young people, however, our problem is that we struggle to have the resources to reach all these young people. This was the perfect partnership. So what the Dove Self-Esteem Project does is they work with us and we discuss the target group that we're going to be targeting. So in this case, for example, it's young people in India. And then ourselves, we collaborate with colleagues in India, such as Dr. Megha Dhillon, who obviously we'll be speaking to as well. And we develop these programs to try and target body image concerns among these groups. And what I find really exciting and fantastic about the Dove Self-Esteem Project is that they are able to partner with other high-profile organizations such as UNICEF. And again, it's kind of us all working together to make sure that what we prepare, the programs that we develop for these young people, are appropriate. And, you know, that it's actually what the young people want, and they can relate to it. And I think what's particularly important in this day and age, and as has already been discussed so much already, is, you know, kids leave school and they go on social media, or they go and watch a Bollywood film, or they read a magazine. And so, you know, we can't really just be reaching kids with lessons in schools, because they find that quite boring. So we need to be a lot more innovative in what it is that we're actually, the format by which we're helping them. So we've been working with other organizations as well to develop games, to develop chatbots, to develop cartoons. And in this case, excitingly, we've been developing comics. So I think it's really about thinking the innovative and educational but engaging ways that we can be helping young people. And that's what the work that we do with the Self-Esteem Project is so fantastic. And we hope that we'll be reaching another 6.5 million lives when we finish the evaluation of the comics, as we will be delivering teacher training across 8 states. And so, yeah, and in these programs, we are targeting all these key risk factors that have been discussed throughout already on the show. So, you know, it's the impact of Bollywood, it's the impact of social media, it's the pressure from family, it's comparing our appearances.
Wonderful.
So in these programs, we target these using fun ways.
The tools are very important. We have Dr. Megha Dhillon. Dr. Dhillon, I'd like to ask you, why is it important to promote body confidence from a young age? Why is it critical to touch young lives while they are still adolescent? And how far can it go in tackling narrow ideas of beauty?
So adolescence is a period of transition from childhood to adulthood. And transitions are tough. And this is a particularly complex transition because there are multiple changes happening simultaneously in the adolescent. Physical changes, psychological changes, social changes. Psychologically, teenagers tend to be very self-conscious, and they also place a very high value on the opinions and evaluations of their peers, which is what makes them vulnerable to body esteem issues. And that is why we must work with adolescents. And another thing we all know is that the experiences we have in our teenage years can leave an imprint upon us for the rest of our lives, which is why it's imperative that we give young people positive experiences and give them the guidance and the support that they need. And I feel any psychological input should start earlier rather than later, so that young people have the skills they need well in time to deal with any complicated or triggering situations.
Yeah, just going back to Dr. Lewis Smith, in working with the Self-Esteem Project that you've been developing, you've been working on a school-based program for India in particular. Is there something very specific to the Indian context that you've had to factor in, or these ideas of beauty and how they impact a girl's self-esteem universal in some sense?
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, how old you are. We know that you're vulnerable to experiencing body image concerns. all children, young people, well, all of us, even all of us here talking today, we all face pressure from what we call the beauty ideal. And this ideal is very Eurocentric. So for women, it emphasizes, you know, being thin, being slender, being tall, having long hair, you know, having fair skin. And for men, it emphasizes being muscular because, you know, we can't forget the boys. We also target boys in our programs, and there is enormous pressure for boys to be muscular as well. So I would say, unfortunately, the same pressure applies in India as it does in the West as well. However, one particularly important pressure is obviously skin fairness. And that's obviously something which is particularly important in the Indian context because it's so ingrained and it's, you know, associated with, you know, social success, capital. However, unfortunately, you know, by seeing Bollywood posters everywhere and by teasing people about being darker than other people, again, it's reinforcing the deeper issue, which is obviously prejudice. So in the interventions, we focus on all these different pressures, but particularly for the Indian context, we also talk about the impact of family, because as we know, family puts a lot of pressure in relation to appearance. You know, girls have always experienced pressure relating to their appearance, but it's particularly strong in the Indian context. And then the other thing that we focus on, in particular for this context, is body talk. So when I talk about body talk, it's like me saying to you, hello, Dr. Roy, oh, wow, you look great. Have you lost weight? So even though I'm paying you a compliment, that's still something which is reinforcing the importance of appearance. And we all do it so often. It's a way that we greet people, but unfortunately, it's giving appearance more importance. Yeah.
Very true, very true. Dr. Megha Dhillon, you've worked with different communities and especially with economically disadvantaged youth through the NGOs that you're associated with. You use lessons from psychology to try and enhance their feeling of well-being. How have you seen their self-esteem in their education? Has it created an impact, this self-esteem education?
Well, I think self-esteem education is a very important component, should be a very important component of what we do with young people in schools and colleges. In 2017, we conducted a project in 4 government schools in Delhi. We held workshops for adolescent girls on creating healthy self-esteem. Now, one reason why adolescents may have low self-esteem is that they tend to overemphasize their weaknesses and minimize their strengths. So one goal of the workshops was to get young girls to also recognize their strengths and understand that whatever weaknesses there may be, they're perfectly natural, present in everyone, and can be worked upon. So after conducting 3 workshops in every school, we evaluated the outcomes of the workshop. The results were definitely encouraging. There was enhancement in self-esteem among the girls that we worked with. However, I do believe that any program that we do on self-esteem must be done in conjunction with other programs that young people need. For example, programs that emphasize academic support, programs that emphasize vocational skills, programs that emphasize mental health. And I think together then, these programs can really create a positive impact in the lives of adolescents.
डॉक्टर ढिलन, आपने एक रिसर्च के जो विज्ञापन और सोशल मीडिया किस तरह से असर करता है हमारे युवाओं पर, एक अनरियलिस्टिक अपीयरेंस एक तरफ है, नकारात्मकता की बात होती है, लेकिन एक पॉजिटिव बिहेवियर की बात भी है, वो भी बदलाव ला सकती है। उस लिहाज से क्या देखा है आपने?
एक्चुअली ये आपका क्वेश्चन जो है, ये सवाल बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है और मुझसे कभी ये क्वेश्चन किसी ने पूछा नहीं है। इस पर कोई ज्यादा रिसर्च नहीं हुई है, थोड़ी बहुत ही रिसर्च हुई है और मेनली वुमेन पे हुई है, यंग वुमेन पे। जितनी भी रिसर्च हुई है, चाहे वो एडवर्टाइजिंग पे हो या सोशल मीडिया पे हो जैसे इंस्टाग्राम, उस रिसर्च ने ये दिखाया है कि एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स एंड सोशल मीडिया एक माध्यम बन सकते हैं पॉजिटिव बॉडी इमेज को प्रमोट करने के लिए। अब एक मैंने रिसर्च पढ़ी जिसमें रिसर्चर्स ने एक क्लोथिंग कंपनी की एडवर्टाइजिंग कैंपेन को चूज करा। उस कैंपेन का यूएसपी ये था कि उसमें कोई भी फोटो फोटोशॉप नहीं थी, सारी फोटोज अनटच थी, सारे मॉडल्स अपने नेचुरल फॉर्म में ही दिख रहे थे। वो फोटोग्राफ्स यंग विमेन को दिखाई गई और उनसे पूछा गया कि वो कैंपेन के बारे में क्या सोचती हैं। बहुत औरतों ने कहा कि उनको वो कैंपेन बहुत अच्छी लगी, बिकॉज उस कैंपेन ने प्रमोट करा बॉडी डाइवर्सिटी को, अलग अलग टाइप्स ऑफ बॉडी को। विमेन ऑल्सो सेड, उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि इन फोटोग्राफ्स को देखकर उनको खुद के बारे में भी अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि फोटोग्राफ्स इतनी नेचुरल थी। और उन औरतों ने ये भी कहा कि वो इस कंपनी का प्रोडक्ट जरूर खरीदना चाहेंगे। सो निकल के तो ये आया कि अगर एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स बॉडी इमेज पॉजिटिविटी को प्रमोट करती हैं तो ये क्लाइंट्स के लिए तो अच्छा होता ही है, बिजनेस के लिए भी अच्छा होता है। सो देन व्हाई नॉट?
Why not? Good for business and for clients. Priya, you know, that makes me wonder, Priya Nair, how does Dove strike a balance between championing body confidence and self-esteem while selling beauty products?
You know, for us at Dove, actually we're trying to redefine beauty, and beauty can be a source of self-confidence. So we are providing consumers with superior care and nourishment with a range of personal care products that allow consumers to feel their best, because you know, when you feel your best, you feel happier, and that's really important. So really providing consumers with dependable personal care products and actually redefining beauty with campaigns like the ones we have done, and we're just going to continue to do so, because for us at Dove it's all about giving consumers that positive body confidence, and that's really our purpose and mission at Dove.
Thank you all, Priya Nair, Dr. Dhillon, Dr. Lewis Smith. Thank you for joining us and raising all of those fascinating points.
तो आइए अब एक दूसरे पड़ाव पर पहुंचते हैं। अंतिम पड़ाव है हमारे इस मुहिम का, जहां पर जो व्यक्तित्व है उसकी खूबसूरती को हम समझेंगे। लवलीना बोरगोहेन हमारे साथ हैं, इन्होंने ब्रॉन्ज जीता था बॉक्सिंग में टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में। नीलाक्षी सिंह हैं, प्लम टू प्रिटी, बॉडी पॉजिटिव कंटेंट क्रिएटर, मॉडल भी हमारे साथ है। तो लवलीना, सबसे पहला मेरा सवाल आप ही से है। इंडिया में हमारी ऐसी सोसाइटी है जहाँ पर जो रंग रूप है, लड़कियों की ब्यूटी पर काफ़ी ध्यान दिया जाता है। कभी आपको सुनने के लिए क्या ये बात मिली कि ये लड़की बॉक्सिंग करती है, लड़की की तरह दिखने लगेगी? कभी इस बारे में आपको इससे कुछ असर पड़ा, परेशानी हुई?
नहीं, हाँ, लोग तो बहुत बोलते थे। मैं भी मैंने लड़कों के जैसा ही बाल रखा था, तो लोग बहुत बोलते थे कि इसका शादी कैसे होगा, लड़के जैसे रहती है, बॉक्सिंग खेलती है। तो मुझे इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता है लोगों के, क्योंकि लोग बोलेंगे ही, अच्छा भी बोलेंगे, खराब भी बोलेंगे। हमें इन सब से डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होना है, और हमें जो अपना एम है उस पे फोकस करना है। और लोग जब बोलते हैं तो उन लोगों को जवाब देने के लिए अच्छा भी लगता है। तो मुझे इससे इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ा, और लोगों का मुंह तो बंद नहीं कर सकते हैं, बस हम प्रूफ करके दिखा सकते हैं।
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने, प्रूफ करके दिखा सकते हैं। आप 3 बहनें हैं और अलग अलग मुकाम आप तीनों ने बनाया है अपने लिए इस जीवन में। आपको लगता है कि आप 3 बहनों को देखकर आपके आसपास जो लोग हैं उनकी सोच में बदलाव आया है?
हाँ, अभी सोच में भी बदलाव आया है, और मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले टाइम में भी चेंजेस बहुत आएंगे। और मुझे लगता है कि दोनों को इक्वल ही सोचना चाहिए, लड़का और लड़की। मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि लड़का से लड़की बहुत अच्छे है या फिर लड़का ही खराब है, नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि दोनों इक्वल है, दोनों को इक्वल देखना चाहिए। और लड़का हो या लड़की हो, दोनों को मतलब एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए और अपने हिसाब से जीने के लिए देना चाहिए। अभी हम तीनों ही मतलब अलग अलग साइड में है, दोनों दीदी, एक तो बीएसएफ में है, एक सीआईएसएफ में है, और मैं भी अभी बॉक्सिंग करती हूँ। तो पहले बहुत सारे लोग मतलब बोलते थे, ऐसा थे भी, अभी भी थोड़ा बहुत है कि लड़कियां नहीं कर सकती हैं, लेकिन शायद मुझे लगता है कि हम तीनों को देख के हमारे उधर भी थोड़ा सा चेंजेस आया है।
बिल्कुल। लवलीना, जब आप देश के लिए मेडल जीतकर वापस आई थी तो आपकी जो पहली कॉन्फ्रेंस थी और उसमें आपने एक बात कही थी जो हम सबको याद है। आपने कहा था कि आपका जो मेडल है वो आप असम के जो गांव हैं वहां पर लेके जाएंगी और बच्चों को उसको टच करने के लिए मौका देंगी, जिससे कि आप आगे जो पीढ़ियां हैं उनको इंस्पायर कर सकें। तो क्या आप ऐसे किसी गांव में गई और उसके बाद क्या रिएक्शन था वहां पे?
हाँ, वैसे बहुत सारे लोग मेरे घर में ही आ रहे थे, बहुत बच्चे आ रहे थे मेरे घर में ही, कि कोविड के वजह से जो मैंने सोचा था कि हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जाके मैं मिलके बच्चे को मेडल दिखाऊं और उन लोगों को छूने के लिए दूं, लेकिन वो नहीं हो पाया क्योंकि कोविड के वजह से तब वो पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाया। और लेकिन जितने भी लोग मुझसे आए थे मिलने के लिए और मेरे जगह में जितने भी बच्चे थे सभी से मैंने मिली और सभी को मैंने मेडल छूने के लिए भी दिया। और अभी भी जो भी बच्चे मुझे मिलते हैं मैं हर वक्त मेडल उनको दिखाती हूँ, क्योंकि मेडल मैं साथ ही रखती हूँ और उनको छूने के लिए देती हूँ। और मुझे लगता है क्योंकि मैंने जब पहली बार ओलंपिक मेडल देखा था तो वो फीलिंग अलग था और ऐसा फील हुआ था कि मैं कैसे इसको पा सकती हूँ। तो मुझे लगता है कि जो बच्चे भी अगर मेडल को देखेंगे और छुएंगे तो उनके मन में भी ये होगा कि मुझे भी ओलंपिक जाना है और खेल के मेडल लाना है। तो उस टाइम पे मुझे ये लगा कि ये अच्छा होगा बच्चों के लिए।
Lavleena ji, thank you so much. Nilakshi Singh now joins us. Nilakshi, you're a model, a body positive content creator. You own your body, the way you look, you've got control over the narrative, you've turned it into a source of confidence rather than a way that, you know, people may choose to demean you. What has that journey been like for you?
The journey has been, as you know, for everyone the same. Like, it's been full of ups and downs, and I have to think about how far I have come now. But it's been really interesting to see what I was and what I have made of myself. I've told that, you know, I've almost championed the aspect of body positivity, but when I think about it, it really started off as difficult. I had an eating disorder, which was not something which is very common and very openly talked about in India. Bulimia is what I suffered from for over 2 years, and that was not something that even I knew of that I had, and probably that is one of the things that is, you know, pushed to the sides, and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's just another thing, she's not, you know, the way that we have progressed about mental health thanks to the pandemic, I feel now, but it's definitely, it was very difficult at the point of time when I was going through it. Even for my parents and for myself to accept and understand that journey has been really time-taking, and it has made me a different person today. I know where I'm coming from, and I understand much more of, you know, what's it been like. And coming to that, you know, the whole journey began on social media for me. It's been almost surreal, because from a point where I would get no validation, or I wouldn't be able to talk to any person in my, you know, in my family or in my friend circle, and I was getting validation from strangers on the internet, which was absolutely absurd to start with. And I was like, where is this coming from? How are people liking me? Is this something that really happens? Is this bot? So for me, it also came from a moment of disbelief and not understanding how it is to be confident. But now that we have arrived here, I feel that, you know, confidence is also something about you know, faking it till making it, and then that's there when you're out there, you're doing things, you meet people, there are people who see the confidence in you, they take initiative to break you out of the shell, and that, I think that's been marvelous for me. I owe it all to social media. I was hearing the conversations before where they were talking about, you know, how social media has dampened it, you know, it has put this immense amount of pressure. But at the same time, I feel it has given me the confidence that I would never probably have in a physical world around me. Today, that has transpired because of social media. So I think that's what's the journey been like for me.
Yeah, amazing. Actually, can I just ask you, Nilakshi, what, just a little more specific about the response you get on social media. How do young women engage with you? Do they ask you for advice, or do they just need someone to talk to? It's an amazing journey that you've had. Do tell us about this interaction on social media.
So the kind of, thank you, doctor. So that's the kind of questions I usually get are more about how are you this confidence? And it seems like a formula that I could pass on to them. I wish there was some, you know, but it's not been the same for me. Everybody has had a different journey, but one of the things that I've understood with most of the younger girls as well is where they just want somebody to hear, you know, hear their story, hear their share, like, and share something out in the world. I know today we are very open about a lot of conversations, but somehow we've not been able to, you know, go back to our parents and speak open-heartedly. Even when I used to be that person who would want to speak to their friends and, you know, talk about my problems, I was ridiculed. Most of the times you see the fat girl, or, you know, as the funny one, as a typecast and all of that. And mainstream media has definitely played that role. So it's imbibed in our heads of what we should act like, what we should be looking like, and what we should be wearing. There is so much more to us than our appearances, and that's not something that has, you know, come across, at least even in the mainstream media that I have seen. So sometimes these girls will come with a lot of curiosity to me, and they'll want to ask, how is it, Nilakshi, that you're doing? And most of them approach me like a sister, so that's always a good thing to, you know, have that, oh, I can lend a ear to them. But yes, it can be very uncomfortable for me also, because sometimes there are talks about, you know, how they do not feel like living anymore. And to think about it, like, thinking that somebody would associate the value of their life to the way that they look is simply disheartening. I have had journeys being shared from their parents, from their boyfriends, from their spouses, and they've come up to me and they're like, yeah, and I know I come from a very privileged place to say that, and probably what I do might look very superficial, but at the same time, I believe that it's bringing about that small change in these women like me and around me, and they feel free to, you know, talk about it. So I think that's been the kind of questions and journey that I've seen across. Even, you know, not just being like a blogger or a model per se. I have also started teaching almost 5 years ago, and I get to interact with my students on a daily basis. It's fascinating what they have to say, and they're so much more than their appearances. So I just wish that we would have someone where we could vent, somebody would hear us out, and a lot of problems could be just nipped at the bud.
Well, it's not superficial at all, Nilakshi, far from it actually. And I know you said there's no magic formula, there's no one size fits all, but I'm still going to put you on the spot because you're an inspiration to so many, because you own your beauty with great pride. So we would like to give you the last word on our show tonight, a message from you, a message of affirmation for all the women, for all the viewers who are watching you, watching us, watching this show right now.
Thank you so much. I am honored, genuinely. But if you're feeling this way, you really don't have to, because you're not alone in doing this. You are beautiful the way you are. Our beauty is so much more than the outer appearances that we are in. It needs to be celebrated in every size, in every form, in every color. And I think that is the way that we need to come forward. Talk to your mothers, talk to your parents. We do not take that initiative to go and check on somebody. I would say that, you know, instead of waiting for our parents and other partners to come and check on us, it's also worthwhile to going on and check on them, check on yourself. You are okay just the way you are. Your self-worth will come from within, trust me, and it really doesn't matter. Because in the end, you are going to do so much more things that are going to be not appearance related, and trust me on this, because I can prove it to you. This is out there, and all the conversations that we've had today, it's been super insightful. I hope that the mainstream media also takes, you know, and it already has started the initiative, but it goes on and takes it. But I would also urge all of you to take the Stop the Beauty Test filter initiated by Dove and NDTV on Instagram to use and propagate this idea as much. It's really, try it. It's really endearing to feel beautiful in your own skin.
It certainly is. We've tried it.
Thank you very much indeed, Nilakshi. Thank you. I do want to say that this is such an important campaign, and we really want to keep keep on at this, because it's a long road ahead, but we will win in the end. And the target of 6 million, I really want to say that it'll all be also on ndtv.com. And we have the largest number of unique users of any news website in India. And through that, they will spread to others. And let's hope you get double the number of millions that you're aiming at through ndtv.com. But thank you all very much. This is really one of the most important campaigns we've ever done.
Thank you, Neelakshmi. Thank you all of our panelists and all of our viewers for joining us tonight as we take a hard look in the mirror at ourselves as a society and have this conversation with those who believe it's time to say no and it's time to embrace a more real, positive and equal idea of beauty.
बिल्कुल उम्मीद यही करते हैं इस कार्यक्रम के अंत में जो सीमित परिभाषा है सुंदरता की वो बदलेगी। और जाते जाते अंत में एक बार फिर से वही फिल्म आपको दिखाते हैं जिसके आधार पर पूरी ये मुहिम शुरू हुई है। नमस्कार।
ये सिर्फ हमारी नहीं, देश की करोड़ों लड़कियों की कहानी है। मैं है किस रेडी।
चलो भी चलो, जल्दी करो। ऐ की दीदी, साड़ी पहनाने की बात हुई थी ना, फिर वजन दिखाई दे रहा है।
अब इसमें भी दिखाई दे रहा है।
हुन तुसी जल्दी करो, लड़के वाले आ गए ने।
इससे ठकरो बेटा, जल्दी आ जा। मैं
आजा बेटा। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
आजा नूर, आजा। फोटो में तो रंग साफ लग रहा था ना। अब बेटा आप दोनों चाहो तो बाहर चाय पी लो। जानूर।
सीढ़ी लगाकर बात करना पड़ेगा आपकी राजेश्वरी को हमारे लड़के से।
जोक्स अपार्ट, अपने बाल स्ट्रेट करा लेना, भाई को नूडल्स नहीं पसंद।
ये दाग
कब तक चलेगी खूबसूरती की ये बदसूरत परख? आखिर कितनी खूबसूरती काफी है? डव, खामियां नहीं खूबियां देखिए।